All right, the latest news break coming in where Jallikattu is concerned. The government is all set to now allow this popular bull taming sport this new year. The Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar has said that the government will let such cultural practice continue. The Supreme Court had banned using bulls for Jallikattu. The sport that has been part of the Pongal festivities is known to be extremely brutal in infliction of unnecessary pain on animals. I want to connect to my colleague Akshay now, getting us up to speed with this very latest coming in. Akshay, would you get us up to speed with this news break, please?
See, if you know, most of the political parties in the state have been supporting Jallikattu right now because the elections are just like 3 to 4 months away, and this is seen as their best brownie points. The emotions are high on the sport. There are a lot of people in Madurai and neighboring districts who participate in Jallikattu, which is known as the state's sport. So this is seen as the most crucial point at this point for most of the political parties, and if Jallikattu takes place, these political parties in the state can get a lot of points. And if you see last year, it was the first time in the history that Jallikattu did not take place. Most of the animal rights activists had filed a lot of PIL petitions, and the Supreme Court had stopped this. And this year, with the BJP in the centre almost saying that they might get the approval for Jallikattu, it's seen that most political parties will have a brownie point, and this will be the situation in Chennai right now and in Tamil Nadu.
This time around, where Tamil Nadu is concerned, Akshaya, even though, of course, this sport will now carry on in terms of heavy political pressure as well, but will there be certain guidelines that would be followed in terms of not inflicting pain where the animals are concerned? Because there have always been a set of guidelines where Jallikattu is concerned. Are they going to follow them, or what are you picking up?
The latest information is that there will be a set of guidelines to protect the animals. But how far this can be taken forward, it has to be seen during the Pongal festivities, because it involves a lot of animals being made to run, and a lot of people attacking them and trying to control them. So it needs to be seen how far they can bring to the guidelines and concentrate on keeping up the guidelines which have been spoken about.
And when does the sport begin, Akshaya? When are we expecting these, it to take place?
During the Pongal festivities, which will be in the early the first week or second week of January.
How many bulls are actually used in this, Akshaya?
There are a lot of them. You can't give a number because most of the districts in Madurai and the neighboring districts, they all follow this, and there are a lot of them. So most of the people in those regions had said that their bulls are generally trained for these events, and if they're not taken for these events, then there wouldn't be they wouldn't have any activities for these bulls, and they would be just left all over there. So there are a lot of bulls that will be involved, more than 400, 500
more than 400
bulls, if the numbers need to be spoken about.
All right, just stay on with me, Akshay, because what we're going to do is we're going to get members of the Animal Welfare Board with us and maybe talk about the implications of this festival going on now. Anjali Sharma, member Animal Welfare Board, is on the phone line with me. Anjali, what do you make of this now? The ban been lifted, Jallikattu will take place.
See, I know that there is a statement to that effect, but it cannot lawfully be lifted because there is a Supreme Court judgment which has very categorically said that this is illegal. It has been declared as illegal. So how can the ban be lifted? The government can lift a ban that the government itself imposes.
Right.
But that's not the case here. You see, the government itself had issued a notification saying that bulls would not be used in this sort of event because it is inherently cruel. The bulls are subjected to bullocks in bullock cart races subjected to immense cruelty. Now, after that, there was a notification they issued, and the matter was before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court on the 7th of May 2014 has, in a judgment which runs over 100 pages, said that this is inherently illegal. Now, how can the government lift the ban? You see, when there is a Supreme Court judgment, we know this sort of event cannot be. And there is very solid reasoning in that. There is a lot of material that the Supreme Court has examined. And when they have given a judgment like this, I mean, I am at a loss to understand how
the government can go against the Supreme Court. Yes, Anjali, we're going to rectify that line. Do stay on with me because I'm coming right back to you for more questions there. But I want to dip in to what the Environment Minister said. Let's listen in to Prakash Javadekar.
As far as Jallikattu, bullock cart race, Kamala in Karnataka, bullock cart race in Maharashtra and Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu, and some kind of races or use of bullock in Punjab, which has been traditionally practiced, a cultural practice for over centuries. We want to respect that, but also ensure that there should be no cruelty, and therefore we will give you good news in next couple of days.
All right, Anjali, if you're still with me now, clearly, like you pointed out, that you're fairly flummoxed in how the government is deciding to go against a Supreme Court ban. The question I want to ask you then is about the intent of the government to curb incidents like that, to curb animal cruelty like this. Because if you look at it, if something like Gadimai festival in Nepal, of course, you can't compare the two, but that also inflicts a lot more cruelty where animals are concerned. If the government can say no to that, do you reckon that India doesn't come strongly on these laws to protect its animals?
In fact, I'm amazed that the Minister for Environment, you see, this thing about cultural practices, sati was also a cultural practice. There is a lot which has been outlawed. There is a no.
Right.
Then you can't pit culture against law. And here, the law there's a notification which has been upheld by the Supreme Court. This thing, and the Supreme Court has specifically dealt with this. They've referred to the Ish Upanishad in this judgment, the Jallikattu judgment. They have said that it is the culture of India that the land belongs to all. No one species can exploit another, especially for entertainment.
Right. Appreciate you joining us, Anjali. Thank you there for giving us perspective. Let's bring in our editor, T.S. Sudhir, who's also on the phone line with us. T.S., an important point raised by Anjali there. How is it that the centre government as well, of course, in terms of implementation is what I'm going to ask you, go against what the Supreme Court has already banned? And how will it be implemented? Because there is a ban by the Supreme Court till the time it's lifted at, the level of the apex court. How can the government say that, we'd allow it under cultural, the garb of a cultural event?
Well, the government really will not have a leg to stand on in case the matter once again goes to the Supreme Court, which is what the animal rights activists are planning. Should Prakash Javadekar, the Environment Minister, actually go ahead and say that Jallikattu will be allowed this Pongal, which will be towards the mid of January. Now, what the plan of all the political parties in Tamil Nadu, in sync with the centre, seems to be to say that Jallikattu can be allowed with the riders, that there should be no cruelty to animals. Now, who is to judge whether any animal is treated cruelly during the sport at all? So, since it has become an extremely political issue, elections in Tamil Nadu are due in April, May, and all political parties want this popular bull taming sport of Jallikattu to be allowed this Pongal. So the perception is that it will probably be allowed, and later on the centre and the state will see if the animal rights activists actually go to court and seek some kind of a ban. But at this point in time, they want to ensure that the votes of the community which actually indulges in Jallikattu come to their kitty, which is why all Dravidian parties, the Congress, the BJP, everyone in Tamil Nadu speaking in one voice as far as Jallikattu is concerned.
All right, so clearly there is politics which is winning over animal rights in this particular instance. We are going to keenly follow the story. Appreciate you joining us, dears. Thank you, Anjali, for getting us your perspective there.
On to some entertainment news now. Bollywood actor Salman Khan turns 50 today. A grand midnight birthday party was organized at Salman's Panvel house, where all his family members, relatives,